Harry's book Spare is due to come out in paperback soon, but his publishers have confirmed there will be no additional updates despite everything that has happened since it first came out last year. Some are speculating that it's Prince Harry holding out an olive branch to his family, especially King Charles. So would you like to see Harry and Meghan welcome back into the royal fold? You can read this news any way you want, obviously, Penny. None of us fully understand it. You know, most people, when the paperback comes out, there is like an addition to that, isn't there? An additional chapter, and there has been that lapse. We've been told that's not happening. What do you think? And should they just try to fix it all at this point?
Well, for me, I'm not kind of judging one way or the other, you know, do I like Harry? Do I think this and that? I'm looking at it on a broader picture, really, just about the family. I mean, we all have family issues to bear from time to time. And I think it's about just possibly being able to mend some of those bridges. And especially as there has been so many health scares within the family, it would seem lovely to think that they could come back together. You know, life is too short, and maybe have some peace there and some healing.
Yeah. Possibly as well. There was obviously a lot of revelations the first time around in the book. To add to that, considering what has happened within the family in the past few months, I don't think maybe there would be the appetite to read it, potentially, Brenda. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the book went into the Guinness Book of Records as the world's fastest selling. So I think a lot of people wanted to read it because a lot of people do. You've got the ones that like to hear the scandal, and you've got the ones who just like to hear about, well, I'd like to see how real they were, and at the end of the day, they're a royal family, but they're humans at the end of the day. And I agree with what Penny's saying. I think it would be nice for them to reconcile, and I think if they're going to do that, though, it kind of needs to be, you know, he almost needs to come back and nobody doesn't know he's come back, and so that they can do that, because the minute you're always hearing about this source and that source and this source, it's like, I don't want to hear about the sources have said. I just want them to deal with it in their own little internal...
It's like the gossip side to it,
exactly,
really, isn't
it's
it?
just too much. And I'm just worried that if there's all of that commotion again, then it just causes an extra rift and problems where there doesn't necessarily need to have you having your 2 pennies worth all the time.
Just sort of shut up shop a bit and kind of quietly, potentially...
Just go in a room on their own, the immediate family, in the room on their own, and have a discussion about it with no aides, with no nothing. And what's said in that room stays in that room, and they move on. Because I think at the end of the day, like you said, it is family. You know, I think... God bless her, if Diana was still here, this would be tearing her apart as well. I think Harry is very different to them all because he has no... You know, he's never going to be king, is he? He's way down the line now to ever take over the throne or any of that. He hasn't really got anything of stature there. It's just weird that when Harry was out and about and it was always Harry out with the lads and Harry being seen falling, everyone just loved Harry. It was like, oh, he's like us, he's normal. And then as soon as all this happened, everyone turned against him. So I would like to see them... I would just like to see it all calm down and we all mind our own business.
A bit of privacy, I think, for the family at the end of the day, you know, a bit of space. Because they are just like another family.
Yeah. Especially, like you say, with
that position. So they're under a microscope all the time. Yeah. Just give them some space.
Especially, like you say, with all the health things they're going through at the moment.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I think it would be a real regret, God forbid, if anything happened to King Charles, it would be a real regret on everyone's part if they hadn't have spoken again.
Or at least tried to, I suppose. Yeah. I guess and again, whether it's the royal family or any of the rest of us, everyone sort of has to be on the same page, I think, just to make it work, or at least be happy to stay quiet and hold your counsel. You know, I think everyone has to be... There has to be willing from all parties, and I suppose that can be difficult when there are lots of parties involved. But certainly it would appear that he's not wanting to add any more fuel to the fire. That's for sure at this stage, and maybe that is a very positive thing. We did ask you at home, would you welcome the Duke and Duchess of Sussex back into the royal family? 73% of you said no. Interestingly, yes, exactly. Generally here, no. Okay, there we go.